The drift velocity can be written as Vd, which is equal to minus E tau by m, where E is a charge of the electron, capital E is a electric field, and tau is a relaxation time, and the m is a mass of the electron. Then the conductivity can be given as sigma, which is equal to n E squared tau by m. This is the conductivity of the material. So there is a very important question. The relation between the current and drift velocity, I is equal to n E squared, n E a Vd. Vd is a drift velocity, then I is a current. If you bring this I here, that is I by A is a current density n E Vd. Then this is a current density J. J is equal to n E Vd. The velocity is a vector and the current density is a vector. Okay, so this is a relation between current and drift velocity, or current density and drift velocity. Then the Ohm's law, vector form of Ohm's law. So this is a very important question. So V is equal to IR. So we can write V is equal to electric field into length, which is equal to I means, what is I? I is I alone. Then R is equal to rho L by A. Then this L and this L get cancelled. We get E is equal to I by A. E is equal to I by A into rho. So what is I by A? I by A is a current by area is a current density. E is equal to J into the resistivity is the inverse of conductivity. So we can write that J is equal to sigma E. This is a vector form of Ohm's law. J is a current density, E is a electric field, and sigma is a conductivity of the material. Then the very important 2-mark question is repeatedly asked in examination for the board exam is mobility. Mobility mu is equal to drift velocity by electric field. So this is the mobility. Then the SI unit of mobility is velocity is meter per second. Then the electric field, what we will have that volt, that is electric field E is equal to volt per meter. Volt per meter. Then what we will have that meter per second, volt per meter. Okay, so we get that it is meter squared second per minus 1 V power minus 1. So that is a SI unit of mobility. So mobility is defined as a drift velocity of the free electron per unit electric field. Temperature dependence of resistance and resistivity. So the temperature dependence of resistance is the resistance of the material at T temperature is equal to resistance of the material at 0 Kelvin or 0 degree Celsius into 1 plus alpha T, where this T is a, or dt, this T is a difference in temperature. So that is a T temperature minus 0 degree Celsius, that is a this T. Similarly, we can write the resistivity of that material at T temperature is equal to rho T, that is a rho naught into 1 plus alpha T, where this alpha is called as a coefficient of, alpha is called as a coefficient of resistivity or resistance. Resistance or resistivity. When this coefficient of resistance is positive means that resistivity, that resistance and temperature are directly proportional. The example is metal. When the coefficient of resistance is negative means it is temperature and the coefficient of resistance will be inversely proportional. When the temperature increases, resistance decreases. Hence the conductivity increases. This is the example for semiconductor. So the temperature dependence means these two equations you should remember. Internal resistance of cell. Okay, whenever you take a battery, okay, so this is a battery. Every battery has a positive and a negative terminal. when this battery is connected to the external resistor capital R. So this is a EMF, E is a EMF, this R is a resistance of the external resistor. So the current I will be flow from positive terminal to negative terminal. So according to Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. This is a external voltage, external potential difference at the ends of the battery or the cell. When the current flows from positive terminal to negative terminal, when the current flows from positive terminal to negative terminal, from the negative, here the current will be inside the battery, it will be close like this. So there will be this is a material. So this material offers some small resistance, is called as a internal resistance of a cell. So the internal voltage drop is equal to I into small r. So this is a internal potential difference or internal voltage. Hence in our shop we are buy the one cell with the 1.5 volt, means this external ends will give only a 1.3 volt. When we connected with the multimeter or voltmeter, it will show only a 1.3 volt or 1.4 volt or 1.2 volt. The remaining 0.2 or 0.3 volt is due to the internal resistance of the cell, that is the internal voltage. So I can write that this is a EMF of the cell, this is a external voltage, this is a internal voltage. This equation is very, very important. So then E is equal to IR plus I into small r. If you take I commonly outside, we have R plus R. Then I is equal to E by R plus R. Similarly, we can write the small r is equal to E minus V by V into R. These are all the derivations for internal resistance of a cell. Understand the concept clearly. Internal resistance of a cells in series and parallel combination. When the cells are connected in series, okay, one after another, what is the effective voltage? So this is a EMF E1, this is a EMF E2 of the second cell. The internal resistance of the first cell R1 and internal resistance of the second cell is R2. So in that we can get that E equivalent, which is equal to E1 plus E2. Then R equivalent, which is equal to, this is a resistance in series. Directly we can add R1 plus R2. So for the resistance in parallel means, so this is a parallel circuit. This is a first cell. Okay, so this is a second cell. Second cell EMF is E2. Then first cell EMF E1. Resistance is R1. Here the resistance is R2. So when these two cells are connected in parallel, the E equivalent by R equivalent is equal to, E equivalent by R equivalent is equal to E1 by R1 plus E2 by R2. This is the derivation we are already done in the regular classes. Then 1 by R equivalent, which is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So this is equations for the internal resistance of the cells in parallel and series combination. In problem point of view, so they may ask that what is the Imax condition for if the cells are connected in series. So when the cells are connected in series, the external resistance value must be greater than internal resistance of the cells, combination of internal resistance of the cell. But for parallel combination, the Imax condition is external resistance must be less than the internal resistance of the cells in parallel combination. So you should keep in your mind, for series means series combination of the cells, external resistance must be greater. For a parallel combination, internal resistance must be greater. Let us we say that in TV remote we are connecting it two batteries. So two cells are connected in series. So the remote resistance must be greater than the cell's resistance. Then only the maximum current will be supplied to the remote. The remote will work. So that is the condition. External resistance will be greater than internal resistance.